Hey, what's going on? My name is Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you replace harmful patterns with new possibilities. In each episode, we'll explore topics that inspire you to be yourself, live your truth, and make lasting connections. In this episode, we're going to talk about going to events, going out there. I know I do a lot of philosophical things and emotional preparation for when you go and you talk to people, but this is what you need to do when you get out there on the main stage. Today, I'm going to talk about these 3 things that you want to do when you go out to meet new people to connect authentically. Are you ready? Let's go. So I'm so glad that you're here for this episode because I know I talk a lot about the philosophical things or the emotional piece of what you need to do to show up in relationships, but I want to give you some practical input, practical advice that you can just apply right away. All the stuff that I talk about is from my personal experiences and my ventures. I don't talk about what I've read in the book and I haven't tried. I talk about what I have read in the book, I've actually tried, and I share my experience about that with you. So what I want to do is talk about 3 different things that is going to be helpful to remember when you go out to events, because I'm doing this stuff too. Like, to be honest, I'm out here making connections, meeting people. I keep meeting really wonderful people, and I am really getting fantastic at sorting out people who do not get my time. They're not entitled to anything about me. I just know after a conversation or 2 that, oh yeah, you're not a person that I want to continue talking to. You might be, oh no, why? How do you know? Give them a chance. No, they've already said the thing. They've already shown up in a way that demonstrates to me that they are not the kind of person that I want to connect with. And this is what I teach people to do. By the way, this is what I teach people to do. I teach you to do this in a few conversations because you don't want to waste your time. Quick story before I get into, these events and what you need to do at these events. But a quick story is that I'm out there on Bumble BFF. I'm talking to people and I'm messaging people and so forth. And I believe that, after a couple exchanges, I want to have a conversation with you in person. Like, an exchange for me is I say something, you say something. That's 1. Maybe up to 3 exchanges, 4 if it's generous. If I'm not sure, that doesn't really. Anyway, 4 exchanges. I'll say up to 4 exchanges where you say something, I said something. That's 1 exchange. If we're vibing, I like your profile, you like my profile, and we're talking, and my conversation is always really pointed. Like, I know where I'm trying to go with this. There's an end goal to this, and that's meeting in person. Then I want to do that. So anyway, I'm telling this person, look, after a couple exchanges, let's meet in person. And they say to me, well, that's cool and all, I like your profile and whatever, but I feel uncomfortable with meeting with you. I mean, I'd like to get to know you a little better. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Most people would think, shoot, okay, that's reasonable. We only had a couple exchanges. Why not get to know each other a little better? But I personally am thinking that's what we're supposed to meet for. That's the reason we're supposed to connect, is to meet in person. Like, we're meet in person and then we talk about these things to get to know each other better. We get a much better vibe and we get a much better sense of this person when we see them. We get all 5 senses. That's the sight, the sound, the taste, the smell, and the touch. All of those 5 senses, we get to experience as much of them as possible will help us get to know who this person is. So anyway, I'm thinking that, and they had said to me they'd like to get to know me better before they get to know me better. And I'm like, no. I don't like that at all. And most people would be like, oh yeah, sure, no problem, and not a big deal, I guess. Let's spend a couple of weeks talking to each other and getting to know each other better. And I'm like, no, because I know what I'm looking for. And so I imagine that you also know what it is that you're looking for. So I asked them straight up. I asked them, hey, what is it that you'd like to know about me that would help you feel more comfortable meeting me? What is it? Left it at that. And their response, after a couple days, their response was, well, I'm introverted, I'm socially anxious, and, I have difficulty meeting people. Well, that's good. Thank you for wasting my time or not wasting my time. The point is that I had to draw that out of them. Who knows how many weeks we have been talking, we've been opening up, I've been texting back and forth, checking my messages, not getting what I wanted, which is to meet them in person, just to discover that they're socially anxious anyway and they're not interested in coming outside. I don't want that. And I don't want that for my clients. You don't want that either. If you are a person who has a busy lifestyle and you're working 9 to 5 and you're trying to meet people, you only have a certain window of time to connect with people. You only have just a little bit of time where you can actually go somewhere to meet people because you have other obligations, right? You don't want to spend this time meeting somebody or talking to somebody online, texting them, spending weeks, and then finally recognizing that, well, they're not interested in coming outside anyway. That's awful. What a waste of time. What a waste of time. So anyway, I talk about this stuff from my own experiences. And by the way, if you ever run into somebody who says, I'd like to get to know you a little better, you ask them. Take this with you. You ask them, what would you like to know about me that would help you feel more comfortable with me? What would you like to know? Because most people don't know. They're just like, I just won't want to meet you in person. I just don't want to go through the effort. Well, don't go through the effort. Let me go find somebody who is interested in doing that. Stop talking to me and stop wasting my time. Immediately unmatch. That's how I roll. So with all that said, when you actually do get to meet people, because it takes time and energy and effort to meet people, it does. It takes time, energy, and effort on top of everything else that you've got going on in your life. Don't waste it on somebody who is just not interested or just can't match your energy. So what we want to do here today, as I read on this bit of a tangent, but I think it's relevant to talk about things to remember when you're going to an event. So when you're actually going out to meet people. So you're not meeting people one-on-one. The stuff that I do, that I talk about, and meeting people in person is not one-on-one, but it's going to an event looking to meet people. That's a specific kind of mindset that we're here, right? So the first thing that you want to do if you're going out to meet people is you want to make sure that you're putting yourself in situations that maximize the number of people that you want to meet. The kind of people that share your common interests. So it might be going to a club, and not the kind, not the nightclub kind of a club, but a club with people who are actually talking and exchanging conversation with people. It might be a group, it might be going to a volunteering event, but you want to make sure that you get out and you mingle in environments that you're comfortable with and that you're enthusiastic about. Okay? That's the key. You want to make sure that you do something that's meaningful and interesting and joyful to you. Don't go to places in which there are people that you loathe, that you're not interested in. You have to figure out how to fit in. Those aren't your people. So step one before you go out to any event is figure out what that looks like. Figure out what kind of event that you want to go to, right? That's step one. Everything else is going to fall apart if you don't do this. Step one. So if you're being intentional, you want to maximize being in spaces in which people are doing artwork, if that is your jam, or if you're curious about it. If you're volunteering for an event, you're volunteering for, let's say, some political party, or you're volunteering to clean up waste, or you're volunteering to work with kids or with kittens or something like that. You want to be sure that you're in a space in which you can talk to people who are doing a thing that you enjoy. All right. So the next thing that you want to focus on is enhancing communication skills. So once you're in that space, what do you talk about? What do you do in that space? How do you be a human in that space? Well, we do have to practice this. We have to not sweat the small talk, because small talk is really, really annoying. Most people don't like small talk. You probably don't like small talk. That's why you're listening to this podcast. Like, I don't like small talk. I don't talk about the weather. I don't care about what kind of food that you ate or whatever, or I don't care about what kind of food that some celebrity ate or something like that. What you ate is more relevant than what a celebrity ate. But what celebrities are doing or what other people are doing outside of yourself, that's small talk. It's unimportant. It's not interesting. It's something that you think they want to talk about because you don't know what to talk about. In order to get better with those kind of conversations, of course, if you've not heard my podcast before, you must head to my profile and grab the Meaningful Connections Workbook. It's going to help you out with that specifically. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about you. The idea is that when you go to events that you like, you want to talk to people about things that you like. And if you don't know anything about yourself, then you're going to have a problem. You're going to be sorting and searching for what they want to talk about, and you don't even know them yet. You're going to be guessing and throwing stuff out there. Well, everybody talks about this new TV show, so I guess I should talk about it too. Everybody talks about this new scandal that's going on. I guess I should talk about it too. Everybody's talking about this new political thing that's happening. I guess I should talk about it too. Nobody cares. You don't care, and they don't care. It's not meaningful to you. It's not. So you want to focus on enhancing your communication skills, which means talking about the things that are important and interesting to you. Go get that Meaningful Connections Workbook if you haven't already gotten it. It's absolutely free. So there's no excuse. Just go get it. But the Meaningful Connections Workbook is going to help you. It's going to help you understand more curiosity. So you got to get curious about what other people are doing, how they feel about their experiences, showing empathy, and, influencing the way your conversations shape up. Those are things that are going to influence the way your conversations appear. You're going to be interesting to them because you have something to talk about, and it's going to appear that you're interested in them because you're curious. You're asking these kind of questions. It takes practice to do this kind of stuff, so make sure that you get some practice and do that. So the last thing that I want to talk about, and if you're going to an event, you want to make sure that you understand that patience is your friend. Okay? Patience is your friend. Building meaningful relationships takes time. And I know that I'm out here like clip, cut people off, whatever. I know what it is that I'm looking for, and it takes some time to understand what it is that you're looking for in other people, but I know exactly what I'm looking for, and it takes time to have that show up. If there's no immediate red flags, if there are green flags, if there are yellow flags, then you continue to show up and look at those experiences, because you want to continue to ask the right questions to get to know them a little better. It's going to take time. A lot of people out there, probably including you, are pretty guarded about the experiences that they want to share with other people, right? It's going to take some time for them to show you something other than what's joyful and fun and interesting to them. You're going to want to see people when they're angry, when they're sad. You're going to want to see people when they're afraid, to know that you can make it through and create a more meaningful relationship with them. And that only happens with time and intention. So I want you to be intentional about sharing these joyful things that you have with them, certainly. So when you go to step one, when you go to events that are going to maximize the number of people that you meet that might be interested in the same things that you like, you go figure out what kind of events you like to go to, and then you focus on the kind of conversations that you have. Don't sweat the small talk. Talk about you. Talk about something that's fun and interesting and exciting to you. And then lastly, practice some patience. When you get to this place in practicing patience, you get to see this person open up to you. This is the building of trust, right? This is a building of connection and empathy. You're going to show these things to another person so that they're willing to open up to you. You have to practice patience. Don't think that it's going to happen all in one go at your connection. At your event. I can certainly see, though, that you might find people that just turn you off right away, and I don't want you to ignore that. Just my personal opinion, I've just always been right about it. And my own experience is that, look, if there's a glaring red flag, then there is a glaring red flag. If you know what they look like for you, then don't ignore them. Don't ignore them. Hey, Patterns of Possibility fam. If you'd like a little more guidance and hands-on support, then I've got great news. You can hire me as your own personal coach. Go to patternsofpossibility.com/coaching to apply for individual or group coaching. In this 12-week program, I'm going to help you make the meaningful connections that you deserve. After this coaching program, I promise you'll be able to do 3 things. 1, you'll be able to clearly identify who belongs in your tribe and who doesn't. Say goodbye to those people who are wishy-washy, you're unsure of. No, you will know for certain whether or not they deserve to be in the same space with you. And second, you are going to know that your thoughts and feelings are valid and worth expressing. So if you do have feelings about your friends not holding up boundaries or not holding up space for you or not meeting your needs, then you are not going to shy away from telling them. You will be able to communicate your boundaries in a clear, concise manner and advocate for yourself in your relationships. And finally, you are going to learn how to start and stop conversations with strangers and steer them towards topics that are interesting and important to you. I don't know about you, but I don't have weeks, months, years to discover whether or not me and my new friend have compatible values. If you know what you're looking for, you can discover if you're compatible in just a few conversations. If all this sounds good to you and you're ready to make those meaningful connections, go to patternsofpossibility.com/coaching to find out more information. Again, go to patternsofpossibility.com/coaching to find out more information. I look forward to working with you. Now it's time for your listener letters. If you have burning questions about your friendships and your platonic relationships with your coworkers and so forth, let me know. Write me at patternsofpossibility@gmail.com, and I might just read your letter out loud. All right, so another person writes, after high school, I started to lose friends, which is expected to happen. Of course, that happens after you are no longer confined to a space in which you have to be at a certain period of time with a certain group of people. You start to stretch out and discover your own values. So anyway, understand that after high school, people show their true colors or fade away from your life if their purpose is done. That's exactly what I was just saying. So now they're 20 years old. I'm 20 years old and I have crushes all the time. That's friend crushes all the time. I get anxious about wanting to ask someone what their name is or if they're down to hang out. I want to say it so bad, but I always have thought that I would look weird or strange. For example, I was in Sephora and there was this girl that helped me. The entire time she was so nice and seemed so genuine. Her vibe matched mine and everything. I don't know how to explain this, but I felt a connection in a way that a friend way, if that makes sense. And I wanted to ask her what her name was or just be straight with her, but it seemed like she was too cool. And if she wanted to be friends or be down to hang out sometime, I wasn't sure. So I got nervous and I froze. I just purchased what I needed and I left. I want to know, why is it so hard to make friends as you get older? And what can you do to overcome these fears? What tips or advice can y'all help me through this awkward phase of my life? I'm also not a great conversationalist, so I struggle with that too. Well, I appreciate you writing this. The thoughts that I have right away, it leads right back to the beginning of this episode where essentially you really want to connect with somebody. You're in a space. So if we were going to follow this 1, 2, 3 thing, you're in a space in which you're doing something that means something to you. So I imagine being in Sephora, this makeup store is meaningful to you. You go in there, you purchase something, and there's somebody who's working there. It's meaningful to them too, in the sense that I don't think people in Sephora get hired if they don't know anything about makeup or if they don't have some kind of passion for it. It's not one of those jobs that you just do just because. It's not like working in the grocery store that you do just because it's making money. Like, you don't have a real big passion. People who get hired in grocery stores rather don't necessarily have a passion to work in groceries, right? So if you're in Sephora, I think a reason to stand is that this person who is working behind the counter also enjoys makeup enjoys the atmosphere, enjoys the experience that it brings. And if you're there too, then you also enjoy the experience too. So boom, there you go. There you go. The next thing that we want to do is have conversation. And you're like, I don't know. I can't talk to them. I'm scared. All right. Okay. It makes sense. You're 20 years old. It's very uncomfortable. You're talking to somebody who is at their job. It's like, I don't know if you want to be friends with me. It's part of your job to smile and make sure I buy something. It's uncomfortable. Not gonna dock you points for that. It's uncomfortable. So there we go. We're trying to make conversation with them, but we're not sure if we want to or not. We're not sure how we're gonna respond. How they're gonna respond to us. But the thing is that we really want to be able to have those kind of conversations. So it's a key piece of you to be able to share how you feel about your experiences with them, share something about you, and you're in a makeup store. If you want to make conversation, you could talk about makeup. This is one thing that I like to do is start why we're here, what is here, what keeps us in this environment together. What keeps us in this environment together? We're here. We have some passion about makeup. Do you think it would look good on my face? Or what do you think about this brand or such and such? And you can lead the conversation towards something else like, I think that you're a really cool person. What do you think about this? I really value your opinion. And then you can invite them to hang out with you or do something or to an event. Now, what I like to do is invite people to an event, especially if I meet them in a place like that, where it is their job and I'm having a conversation with them. It is their job. I want to invite them to an event. I don't necessarily want to meet them one-on-one just because it's a level of uncertainty for them. They're uncomfortable, depending on the guy's the conversation. But I'd recommend that you invite them to something that you have seen or are interested in doing to see if you can connect on that. Because exchanging Instagram, I don't think it leads to a really great connection because maybe you won't follow up with each other. Maybe you'll just talk to each other for a minute. You'll like each other's Instagram, but then you won't be intentional about having a conversation. So if you were going to, all this stuff is just coming to me now, but if you were going to exchange Instagram with her, then return to the store to see her in person another time. Return to the store another time, or actually make a conversation. Actually make it a point to talk to them and invite them to do something that is not just you two talking to each other. Like meet at a place. I like the idea of meeting at a place that is a bit of a distraction, that is fun for both you and the other person, so that you can have not so much of the focus beyond what you're talking about and what's interesting to you, but a little bit of I'm comfortable in the space that you also hold together. Because that's kind of what happens around this age when we're like 20, early 20s, maybe even throughout the 20s. But me as a person, like I'm 41 now, and I'm just like, yeah, look, we're going to talk. I don't have time for any other distractions. I don't have anything else going on in my life. I don't have as much time left. So I would like to be intentional about the kind of conversation I have with you. And if you're 20 years old and you're listening to this and you're like, booyah, that's what I want to do, then I all the power to you. But to the person I'm talking to who is 20 and you're really uncomfortable with the kind of conversation, the distraction is the event that you go to will provide a bit of a buffer. It'll provide a bit of a buffer for you to then talk about these things that are meaningful and interesting to you with this person to see if you can connect. And the purpose of you connecting or meeting together, so you met in Sephora and now you have exchanged contact information and now you're going to meet at another event that is not Sephora that you both kind of like or both interested in. The purpose of being in that space together is to understand whether or not they like the same things that you like, if they share the same values. It's not just to googly eyes over them and say, oh, you seem like such a cool person, tell me all about you and your life. Every single step of the way, you were comparing whether or not this person is a person that you really want to be with. Do they share your values? Did they share your goals? Did they share your life experiences? Can they relate to you? Do they have empathy? You're asking yourself all of these questions and you're evaluating them every step of the way. Every step of the way. Because friends aren't just people that you just talk to or just hang out with for the heck of it. They share your values. They share your goals. They empathize with you. They support you when things are difficult. You support them when things are difficult because you can understand what they're going through. You have empathy. All of those things that go into it. So with that said, I want to encourage you to go to places in which there are people doing the things that you like. Talk to them about the things that you enjoy. And then evaluate the relationship to see if they have the same kind of values you have. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you like this podcast, share with someone who you think could benefit from this information, and follow me on social media. You can find me at Patterns of Possibility on all social media. And I go live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can catch me and learn more about these social connections and interact with other people who are looking for the meaningful connections, who share the same kind of stories, and be in community. And don't forget to sign up for my newsletter at patternsofpossibility.com, where you will get actionable steps delivered to your mailbox every week. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, take care.